Arc'teryx, everyone's favorite hyper-functional outdoor clothing brand that is beloved by hikers, climbers, skiers, and the military. But recently there's been a fifth group of people that have learned to love Arc'teryx. It is the streetwear and mainstream fashion crowd. You know, the people that get their $400 Arc'teryx jacket to go get their $5 latte or have their favorite poetry reading, which actually I think I just described myself. But joking aside, I think Arc'teryx has had an immense amount of success over the last couple years, really unexpectedly, but I don't think they're going to be able to sustain this long term. So this video is going to be talking about why I think Arc'teryx will fall off eventually. But before we get into that, I think it's helpful to understand how did Arc'teryx get to where we're at today. Arc'teryx started in 1989 by David Lane as just an outdoor accessory and clothing company and saw pretty moderate success early on. But it wasn't until 6 years later when they formed a partnership with W.L. Gore Associates and came out with their Gore-Tex fabric did Arc'teryx start to see a lot more success. If you guys aren't familiar with Gore-Tex, it's basically a fabric where the pores of the fabric are small enough that rain and snow can't get through, but they're large enough that it wicks away sweat moisture and helps regulate your body's temperature. So it keeps you dry and keeps you cool as well. So it's a really practical fabric, especially if you're in some sort of performance-oriented sport like hiking, skiing, climbing, whatever it is. So that really helps set Arc'teryx up as the gold standard within the outdoors community and create a really passionate fan base from there, and they've had a lot of success because of it. Something interesting happened in late 2019, early 2020. You had 5 of the most influential people within all of streetwear decide to wear Arc'teryx right around the same time. You had Kanye, Drake, Virgil Abloh, Frank Ocean, and Travis Scott all within a matter of months being photographed wearing Arc'teryx. And if you guys don't know how this works, if these guys are spotted wearing anything, it could be a pair of crusty socks, it could be a t-shirt, anything, people go crazy, okay? Like if Kanye is spotted in any shoe, it could be Crocs, it could be boots, it could be like high heels, whatever Kanye decides he wants to wear for the next month, that is the hottest shoe that anyone could get their hands on until Kanye is spotted in another shoe. Like without exaggeration, guys, like that's literally like the stage of the world we're in. So all 5 of these guys are being spotted wearing Arc'teryx and people go crazy over it, right? And that just allows a whole new group of people to start saying, wait, what's this Arc'teryx thing? Why is everyone that I look up to wearing it? And then beyond that, Arc'teryx had some pretty strategic collaborations around this time. In late 2020, they had their collaboration with Palace, which is a very popular skate brand and kind of streetwear brand. And so that had a whole nother set of eyes on them that had never been there before. And then late last year, they collaborated with Jill Sander, which is a high fashion house, very well esteemed in the high fashion community. So once again, a whole new market of people are paying attention to Arc'teryx that probably didn't really know they existed before. Maybe they saw it at REI or their local outdoor kind of store, but they probably didn't know who Arc'teryx was. So it's the perfect storm of exposure, and now a lot more people are aware of who Arc'teryx is than ever before. So you might be asking yourself, like, why Arc'teryx specifically? Like, why weren't these rappers wearing like the North Face or Patagonia or some other brand? I think Arc'teryx specifically has 3 things really going for them. Number 1, the colors are just brilliant. They have these awesomely vibrant colors I just think look great on social media, and it can make the worst outfit look interesting and make you kind of stop, which is why you see so many people wearing them now. And you might say, oh, like Patagonia or the North Face or whoever has good colors too. They do, and I know it's subjective and nuanced, but I just think Arc'teryx is the best colors, and that's just my opinion. I think that's one of the strongest reasons people really gravitate towards them. And the second reason is because unlike a lot of other outdoor or functional-based clothes, Arc'teryx has a very minimal type of look to it. And I think since they strip down so many of those details, it creates more of a blank slate or canvas for people to incorporate with what they already have. It doesn't feel so juxtaposed against maybe more of a streetwear context because it is more minimal. It's more open to interpretation than other things. And then lastly, like I said, Arc'teryx is a very robust and passionate community that loves Arc'teryx within the outdoor space. And so I think when people look in from the outside and they see that and they say, oh, what's going on with Arc'teryx? I want to be a part of that. It seems pretty cool. Because at the end of the day, guys, like with social media and just the internet, I feel like we're so connected, but also so lonely. So I think people want to be a part of something that's a little bit bigger than themselves, and Arc'teryx could offer that. The biggest thing that I think Arc'teryx has benefited from is just the rise in general of the Gorpcore genre. And the Gorpcore genre, if you don't know what it is, it's basically taking technical type clothes that really have a functional purpose to them and adapting them to more of a leisurely urban setting. And in my opinion, this whole Gorpcore era that's going on right now, where every designer is making their things a little bit more kind of functional and durable and all of that, it seems very similar to me to the heritage revival that happened in the early 2010s. I actually got interested in fashion in the 2010s, so I'm very familiar with it. If you're not, it's a bunch of guys got interested in clothes through things like boots, denim selvage jeans, flannels, and maybe a suit or something like that. And I think it was really interesting because it was a lot of values attached to that. It was, buy less, but buy better, slow fashion. There's kind of like this lifestyle of supporting small makers. And it was really just an interesting time. But I think the biggest thing of it overall was it was an easy on-ramp for your average everyday guy to get into clothes without getting any sort of grief or questions about his sexuality or why he's suddenly interested in clothes. Because guys, it is just way easier for a guy to tell his friends, oh, I bought these $300 jeans because they were made in Japan. I wear them every day. They're aging with me and I'm creating all sorts of memories with them. Whatever that explanation is, versus saying, oh, I got these Rick Owens Kiss boots because I just thought they were cool. You know what I mean? Like, guys are just gonna get a lot more grief because of that. All right, now for the fun part, why I think Arc'teryx will fall off. When I say fall off, guys, I don't mean they're going to go out of business, but I just don't think Arc'teryx will be able to successfully sustain their place within streetwear and mainstream fashion. The reason for this is fashion trends is an intentional effort. You have to be very focused and determined to consistently stay on trend within the fashion industry. And this is for very good reason. They are manipulating trends every single season in order to incentivize you and I to buy more clothes, right? Like, there is no sustainable business model where if you only buy a shirt or a jacket every 10 years, then that company is able to continue to thrive. So they manipulate the trends to continue to be constantly cycling through different colors and silhouettes and aesthetics and different things. And I think ultimately Arc'teryx kind of just stumbled into this. I think the broader just Gorpcore aesthetic was coming to age over the last couple of years, and Arc'teryx was just in the right place at the right time. But it doesn't seem, based on some of the interviews that I've read from their executives, that they're planning to continue to focus on following these fashion trends, some of these more micro trends. And so I think that's ultimately going to cause them to lose some of these kind of more general mainstream customers that they've gained over the last couple of years. And lastly, one thing that I've noticed is some of the hardcore Arc'teryx fans that are from like that more outdoor community are complaining that since they got sold to a Chinese conglomerate in 2018, the jackets aren't made in Canada anymore, the quality seems to be going down, there isn't a lot of innovation going on, but at the same time, they are kind of entertaining some of these collaborations like with Jill Sonder and Palace and some other spots. And it just seems like they haven't really had a lot of conviction or commitment to which customer base they want to serve. And one of those funny things in life, guys, in business as well, is when you're growing, a lot of times it can kind of cover up some of the underlying issues you have. So I think when fashion moves on from Arc'teryx and some of these new customers don't return in the future, we're going to start to see them have some more issues with who really is their customer at the end of the day. And that's just going to cause them to fall away from the public consciousness of what's of the moment right now. So that's my thoughts on this topic, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.